And the next session is fast-tracking $4 trillion for Tamil Nadu. Let me quickly introduce you to that session. So with over 3,000 active startups, 50 plus incubators, and strong investor interest, Tamil Nadu is fast emerging as a major entrepreneurial hub. With India projected to reach 250 unicorns by 2030, the state is well placed to be a leading contributor. This session explores how large-scale entrepreneurship, supported by startup incubators, accelerators, universities, and global investors, can expand productivity, enhance youth employment, and stimulate regional economic momentum. Our first speaker of the next session is a serial entrepreneur and general partner at July Ventures, an AIF fund. Previously, he was founder and managing director of Future Focus Infotech, FFI, a leading IT consulting and staffing enterprise with operations across India, the Middle East, and the US. A long-standing lead investor with the Indian Angel Network, he has achieved multiple successful exits with several of his portfolio startups on track to become category-leading unicorns. He actively mentors numerous early-stage ventures. A respected ecosystem builder, he serves as director at Native Lead, promoting entrepreneurship in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. He is a charter member of TAI Chennai and has contributed to the NASSCOM National SME Council and Regional Council. As chair of the Technology Committee at SICI, he led initiatives including Yadum Ure for diaspora investments and anchored key MSME policy discussions. He received the CII Mentor of the Year 2020 award. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a proud privilege to invite Mr. M.V. Subramanian, venture capitalist, startup ecosystem builder, general partner, July Ventures. A big round of applause, please.
Good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to be primarily with the family of Mr. Abdul Qadir. And I have seen your father also very earlier. So I am very happy to be associated with this event. But the subject, I can speak various subjects, but the subject given to me was mass entrepreneurship. I know why this subject has been given to me. Going back and looking at, I do not know how many of you are entrepreneurs behind, not in the first row. Most of them are entrepreneurs here. Okay. I understand very, very few entrepreneurs are sitting. All the others are maybe investors. So I'm happy to associate and then look at how I can deliver what has been given to me as a subject, as a mass entrepreneurship. Going back and looking at my life earlier, when I started my career around 86, 87, I wanted to become an entrepreneur. So it was very, very difficult that time when I go back and tell my house, my parents says, "Una padikka vachidhu idukudana, unakku nee kalyanam pannita porave nee entrepreneur aagu, adu varaikum vandu engeyavadhu poi oru job thedikon." The first job I got was English Hattrick. The next job I got was being a husband to another spouse of mine, and that is a successful event for my family. Then came my urge for being entrepreneur did not come down at all. I thought I have to go and then look at various entrepreneurs who have been successful to understand, is there a way that I can follow their footsteps? அவங்க footsteps என்னால் ஃபாலோ பண்ண முடியுமான்னு தேடி தான் நான் நிறைய பேரை போய் பார்த்தேன். But fortunately and unfortunately, I was not being guided. இன்னைக்கு நான் எதுக்கு இந்த பேஸை நான் கிரியேட் பண்ணிடுறேன்னா, இன்னைக்கு உள்ள சிச்சுவேஷன் how it is for us to scale our entrepreneurship into a mass entrepreneurshipன்றது ஒரு பிளாட்ஃபார்முக்காக இப்போது அதை சொல்ல வேண்டியதாக இருக்குது. அன்றைக்கி banks doesn't support, family does not support to give money to anybody who wanted to become an entrepreneur. எஜுகேஷன் கொடுத்தாச்சு, அதோடு முடிஞ்சு போச்சு. அதோட we have to take care of our life. So, but நான் என்னோட அர்ஜி தீரல. அதனால் I been to stock market, being an engineer and working in English Hattrick, but I was doing for my own purpose. I was actually learning stock market, how to trade in it. Then அந்த ஒரு பேசிக் ஃபண்டமெண்டல் இதை வச்சு I got a gut to come out of the company, start a portfolio management company that time. That time SEBI was not there. Portfolio management என்ற ஒரு word கிடையாது. But I helped people who wanted to invest in stock market. I do my research and give them the input such a way that they can invest. So this is how I came into the business. But in the middle, maybe from 94 to 97, I have done many investments. இவங்கள மாதிரி கிடையாது, இந்த ஃபேமிலி பண்ண மாதிரி கிடையாது. பட் என்னோட பர்சனல் லெவலில் என்னால் என்ன பண்ண முடியுமோ சின்ன சின்ன இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் இன் ட்ரேடிங், இன் மேனுஃபேக்சரிங், இதிலெல்லாம் இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணேன். எல்லாமே வந்து ஃபெயிலியர். ஸோ இட் வாஸ் அ வெரி டிசாஸ்டர் ஜேர்னி ஃபார் மீ அண்ட் தட் இஸ் வாட் ஐ லேர்ன்ட். பிகாஸ் சக்ஸஸ் ஸ்டோரியில் ஒன்றுமே இருக்காது, ஃபெயிலியரில் நிறைய ஸ்டோரி வந்துடுச்சு. 97 I had some friends who told, மணி நீ இதே மாதிரி பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தேன்னா இது ஸ்கேல் பண்ண முடியாது, அதனால் கேன் வி ஸ்டார்ட் அ ஐடி ட்ரைனிங் கம்பெனி விச் வாஸ் ஐ வென்ட் டு பைடெக். அந்த டைமில் they were doing Y2K training. I just asked for எனக்கும் ஃப்ரான்ச்சைஸ் கொடுக்குறீங்களான்னு. பைடெக் was not ready to give the franchise in our terms. They are ready to give franchise, but எங்கள் டேர்ம்ஸில் எங்ககிட்ட பைசா கிடையாது, அதனால் எங்கள் டேர்ம்ஸில் கொடுக்க முடியாதுன்னாங்க. So we started a company called Future Focus Infotech, which is earlier known as Focus Infotech. Y2K training start பண்ணது. To cut the story down, it was started as a training company. It went into staffing. It went into services. We built a company which was around 600 crore, and then we sold it to Japanese. So that was the ஒரு என்டர்பிரனரோட ஜேர்னியில் வந்து இவ்வளோ ஒரு, அதாவது பார்க்கும்போது திரும்பி பார்க்கும்போது ஐ டிட் நாட் திங்க் ஹவு மச் ஐ வில் ஏர்ன். இன்றைக்குள்ள என்டர்பிரனர் மாதிரி கிடையாது. என்ன வேல்யூவேஷன், நான் என்ன மந்த்லி சேலரி எடுத்துகிட்டு போனோம், இந்த மாதிரிலாம் கிடையாது. அப்போ வந்து இட்ஸ் ஒன்லி ஐ ஹாவ் டு பி சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல். இதுதான் ஜேர்னியாக வந்து வி பில்ட் இட். பட் இந்த மிடில் வாட் ஸ்டக் மீ வாஸ், எங்கேயாவது நானும் யாராவது ஒரு என்டர்பிரனர் வந்து என்கிட்ட நான் இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்ட் வச்சுருக்கேன் இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணுவீங்களான்னு கேட்டிங்கன்னா, நான் இமிடியேட்டாக ஐ ஜஸ்ட் லுக் அட் த ப்ராஜெக்ட், ஐ இன்வெஸ்ட். பட் இது நிறைய இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் பண்ணி என்ன ஆகிடுச்சு, எல்லாமே ஃபெயிலியர். பிகாஸ் ஐ டிட் நாட் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட். நம்ம ஒரு இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் பண்ண பிறகு அந்த என்டர்பிரனர் என்ன பண்ணுறாரு, ஒரு சங்கடம் வரும்போது அந்த என்டர்பிரனர்ஷிப்பை விட்டுட்டு ஹீ கோஸ் டு சம்திங் எல்ஸ். என்னோட இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் அப்படியே போயிடும் அதில். ஸோ ஐ தாட் இது வந்து என்னோட மாடல் வந்து சரி கிடையாதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு தான் ஐ கேம் இன் டு இந்தியன் ஏஞ்சல் நெட்வொர்க். I am talking about 15-16 years back. Indian Angel Network வந்த பிறகு தான் I started learning how to invest as a group and how to pick up a entrepreneur, how to pick up the domain, how do I invest, and over a period of time I learned how to exit. So in the journey வந்து it was a 15-year journey for me, and then I would have invested around 20-22 investments, but my exits will be 4 or 5. Still failure is there, but my exits are bigger. Because one of the investment which I did, which I led in IITM Research Park was Unifor, which is now $3 billion in valuation. When I invested, it was $2 million. So it has an potential to grow much higher. So அதனால் எனக்கு வந்து அப்பமும் வந்து ஏன்னா ஒரு பீரியட் ஆஃப் டைம் நம்ம லைஃப் ஜேர்னியில் வந்து the money which we are earning may not be very big for us to impact us. So I decided I will stay investing into the startups, build that ecosystem. இங்கேருந்து தான் I migrated to Native Lead ஒரு organization. இந்த ஸ்பீக்கர் மிஸ்டர் சிவராஜா வந்திருந்தாருன்னா he would have spoken. I'm a director there in Native Lead, Tier 2 city, Tier 3 city, anything related with agriculture, non-IT, non-IIT, non-engineering backgroundsல இல்லாத நிறைய ப்ராஜெக்ட்ஸ் வந்து we wanted to promote Tier 2, Tier 3 city. It has taken us nearly, I remember still, I have gone and trained more than 250 investors. எதுக்கு இன்வெஸ்டர்ஸ் வேணும்னா, இந்த ஃபேமிலி மாதிரி உங்களுக்கு இன்வெஸ்டர்ஸ் எல்லாருக்கும் கிடைக்காது. They will not be able to reach. So we have to find investors at the local district levels. ஒரு 250 investors I have trained. Then after 10 years I look back. முன்னாடி எப்படின்னா நான் இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணுறேன் அப்படின்னு சொன்னால் there are other investors who comes and invest because of some of the successes which I had earlier. But இன்னைக்கு looking back, I don't even show my face, I don't even talk in the forum. But இன்னைக்கு வந்து at least we have more than 15 to 20 lead investors in the native lead investment group. இவங்க எல்லாம் பண்ணுறது வந்து நம்ம கேட்குற இப்போ ராப்டி வந்து ஒரு இன்ஜினியரிங் மார்வல் ஆர் மேபி இந்த இவி ஸ்பேஸ். பட் அவங்க சொல்கிறதெல்லாம் வந்து சால்விங் அக்ரிகல்ச்சரோட ப்ராப்ளம். லைக் ஹாப்பி ஹென்ஸ்னு ஒன்று, மேங்கோ பாயிண்ட்னு ஒன்று, இதெல்லாம் வந்து அந்த ரீஜனுக்குரிய ஒரு ஒரு ஸ்பெஷலைசேஷனை எடுத்து they have built it as a kind of an startup which has grown to the size. Angyo I have seen exits. So idu vande then I realized that it is going to be a huge success if we get into the place where there is a huge need. இதில் இருந்து வந்தது தான் ஒரு ஆஃப் ஷூட். Luckily Shivaraja has become the CEO of Tansim. I am associated with Tansim in the space of funding SC/ST candidates who are coming into entrepreneurship. You will not believe, SC/ST we would have done some more than 40 investments, around 60 to 70 crores. I sit as an IC member there, investment committee member. Today, that investment, 90% of the investment is above water. In the sense, they are all surviving, they are all doing next level of business, they are all raising money, and I will not be surprised, it will cross the numbers which nobody would have thought. This is the kind of growth an SC/ST candidate can give. That means it is not about somebody who is studying in IIT alone, it is not studying in some engineering colleges. Entrepreneurship is today available for everybody to look at as an biggest option. Main is you have to encourage your children, because I see many of the seniors here, but I urge to say that you have to encourage your children to take entrepreneurship as one option. And whoever gone for a job, I probably say that motivate them in their lifetime to take an entrepreneurship and try it out, because that kind of a freedom I don't think anybody can enjoy, because entrepreneurship is nothing but a freedom to think. You have all the resources, which is you have the freedom to use it, both time and money, and you really start enjoying the supporting others, and then make sure that they also grow, and you will be very happy to see that. So now coming back to this, again the mass entrepreneurship. So this has been happening for last 10 years in the native lead and native. Now we go back and look at, somebody said there are 50 incubators, there may be some numbers are missing. At least more than 100 incubators are available in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu will be the number one in terms of state in number of incubators which is available. And among that, which I have seen, CAIC, I have seen them growing from, IIT themselves, I have seen them growing from last 15 years. IITM Research Park, I was associated. I have seen them growing for last 15 years. I go back and look at last week, I spent 2 days in IIT itself, into the institution itself. Then I found that what we call it as mass entrepreneurship coming from one professor with one technology. He talks about his specialization is non-destructive inspection. That is the only specialization he had, which he is focusing on. He has built more than 10 companies with one specialization, and the passion under which he speaks. Then I realized that this whole entrepreneurship is moving to the next level. The reason is they are solving the real-time problem, and the professors and the students not only creating white papers and IP, they are also moving towards making sure that that IP becomes useful functionally for the society. This helps me to think the entrepreneurship, it is going to the next level. So there are two categories of things which I said. The people who have downtrodden, if you are able to support them, they are successful, and they make sure that whatever the money they got, they make it as a successful for them, because for them it is a life. The second side I looked at is the institution, where most of them migrate to US after the education. They all started looking at Why not we stay here and solve the problem? I asked the professor, what is one criteria for you to choose the entrepreneur so that they stay back and build that organization? The thing which he said, next 2 years you will take 25,000 rupees per month as a salary, and you will not talk about valuation, you will be only talking about getting first few customers. And that customers are big, because the problem is big, customers are big. So this is a kind of problem which has been given or constraint given to the entrepreneur, and he is able to pick up 10 different companies which is highly scalable. Coming back again, in these two areas which I give in, because most of them are sitting here as a contributors to this ecosystem, we actually trying to build, my maybe family member is involved in building this SCST fund where they do the diligence of this startups which comes to them. We are now trying to build accelerator for Dalits alone. Only accelerator for Dalits. So that we felt that supporting them at the right time and people have the right idea, they actually improve them much better than any other ecosystem which I have seen where the failures are more. And those people are able to take this to the next level. Only thing what is missing to them was a guidance at the right time. So I've just given input, just shared here and there what is actually I'm probably trying to associate with and trying to do. And this is all small initiation we can do. And people who are sitting in the front, and if they think and what they are doing, and that is going to multiply, anyway, whatever the valuation they are going to give it at CIIC, they are going to give it back to the society again. I don't think they are now encouraged to do that because of the success which they have seen. For example, the Rapti which was here, I do not know whether Dinesh is here. Rapti was the first who came to me, and I did not understand that space of EV. Then I sent it to Mr. Manu Iyer, who is a Blue Hill Capital. Manu Iyer took it from there, and then he took it to Crescent, and then from there the growth was. Rapti again came back to me when the government, Tamil Nadu government, have a fund in TITCO. I sit as an IC, investment committee member for TITCO also. So that came for the next round of funding of around 25 to 30 crores. That got approved. So the contribution which can be given by the ecosystem, that is Tamil Nadu as the government has built so much a platform and ecosystem. India has built all the other infrastructure. Institutions, Crescent is one of the leading institutions which I have seen personally from where it started as an incubator and it has grown to the size. I met Mr. Abdul Qadir long back. I met Mr. Bukhari. Every time I meet him, his only subject was, can we build an accelerator which he is ready to take it to other countries. So this is the passion by which I have met this philanthropist, if I have to say, more than a business person. And the Parvez and the Nisha, who's passionately built this. Every time they come up smiling with building this Crescent Engineering. Every time I meet them, they say that I have so many entrepreneurs who have come in. So if I have to do the mass entrepreneurship, first is the incubators, the second is the framework available, third is the mentorship available, fourth is the money available for them to do. I think we are at the right spot. Just now I was talking to Mr. Ahmed, who was the president of the this UEF. I was asking what is the delta where he is coming from. Today, Tamil Nadu is around $400 billion as a GSDP. And India GDP is around 4 trillion. So it is around 10%. He said in 47, it will be around 27 trillion, and India is the same 10%, it is around 2.6 trillion from Tamil Nadu. He says the delta of 1.3 is what we are looking at from building entrepreneurship. but only thinking which other speakers have actually dealt with. What is missing, I will tell you what is required, because now I sit in a fund which is 1,000 crore fund. I evaluate every day companies on those spaces which is coming from. Rarely I see companies coming from Tamil Nadu in certain space. Now I look at fintech, supply chain, green clean, and health tech. These are the 4 areas which we specialize in. Our first check is 20 crores. So we look at the companies whether interested coming from this Tamil Nadu, because I can really support and guide them for the next stage. Unfortunately, I don't see it. Maybe in coming days, if you are able to take up very specific domains from Crescent and then start building up with all the infrastructure which is available. For example, if I say TITCO 25 crore, it is available, but we have to find out whether we will be able to match it next 5 years. If we are able to get there, we get 2 companies 25 crore like what Rapti has got. I think our infrastructure will help us to grow to the next stage. I stop here because the bell has rung. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I hope to keep supporting your activities and whichever the forum it is. Thank you very much.
If I'm able to see further than others, it's only because I stand on the shoulders of giants. Thank you for being one such giant, sir. Thank you. Right. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. We need more people like him, and we need more people like Mr. Abdul Khadir as well to support all the young minds who are there. Right. From mass entrepreneurship, it's time to go to inspired leadership. And to talk about it, our next speaker, she's a chemical engineer and MBA graduate who's passionate about enabling and empowering young corporate leaders, women, and college students as they begin their professional journeys. With 30+ years of experience at the intersection of culture, literature, and corporate evolution in India, she brings a rich and diverse perspective. She transitioned from engineering to banking, holding several leadership roles and driving operational excellence throughout her distinguished career. A gifted orator, she speaks extensively on literature, Tamil culture, tradition, and women's empowerment, addressing numerous corporate forums and youth gatherings. She is a strong advocate for diversity and inclusion, having served on City India's Diversity Council for over 7 years and its Ethics Committee for 2 years. She also led and managed the consumer banking division at Citibank for more than 3 decades. An accomplished writer, she contributes weekly columns to the Times of India, and her books on women empowerment are widely read. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Ms. Bharathy Baskaran, motivational speaker and independent director, Hatsun Agro Foods. Ma'am.
Brothers and sisters, I am indeed honored to be in the midst of this august gathering. Dear brother Mr. Buhari and other members of the UEF, thank you for this great opportunity. So let me start off by saying that I'm always immensely happy to be associated with people who are able to have and cherish a dream. That's exactly what I'm seeing here. 4 trillion for TN. Indeed a great dream, isn't it? Like my previous speaker mentioned here, where are we today? The state GDP data that was released by RBI about a couple of days ago mentions that Tamil Nadu is at about 31.17 lakh crores, roughly translating to little less than $400 billion. That's where we are. To be at this point is a high point because we are second amongst the states. And more importantly, if you see the rate of growth over the last 3 years, every year Tamil Nadu has surpassed something like a 13% growth, which is excellent, exceptional. From here to dream for something like $4 trillion is a great dream to cherish and have. So this is very interesting to be in this space, to stand here and dream for that in 47. Some of us may not be there when this is ultimately achieved. but it's very important to sow the seeds, the fruits of which may be reaped by somebody else. But like how Shivaji Ganesan sir mentions in movie Tevar Magan, whether naam pottadu. It is our duty. Idu enna? Perumaya, idu kadama. That's what the dialogue goes of. So we are a part of delivering our duty in the place that we are so proud to be a part of. So when Sir Buhari mentioned to me that he wanted me to talk about leadership, I'm just thinking about how do you reach there? You can just be relaxed, sitting wherever we are, saying that anyway we are doing about 12 to 13% growth, even if there are some calamities like corona or whatever it is, give or take, an annualized growth of about 9% will anyway happen. So if you just let this arithmetic progression happen and happen and happen, you'll ultimately be there. That's one way of just thinking about it. But that's not why we are here. This entire forum, UEF, is thinking beyond that. So what is really required to be there so that you're ahead of the curve? So you're ahead of other states and you end up being the biggest contributor to India reaching great heights. There is only one requirement. You need to create leaders. And all my previous speakers here, I think I have heard some excellent speeches right from the time I came here. If you have to summarize everything that they said, in order for us to be in this space, some of you are here to invest. Angel investors are here. Some of you are here to guide. So there are mentors. Some of you are running forums, like what my brother Sir Buhari is doing. Is that enough? All of you are ready to water the seed, provide light for the seed. But the seed has to be of a quality that it is determined to germinate and grow. What I mean is that we need to have leaders if you have to be there. So, are there leaders? Everybody is a leader in one's own stride. But if you have to just define what really makes a leader, is there any definition that's available? It's a very vague topic, right? Everybody has one's own definition of a leadership. So let me tell you the example that I saw. I am born and brought up in Chennai. So I belong to a place which is called Kottivakam. Some of you may be aware. But when I was in school, that place was not like how you see it today. It was a place that hardly had any transport facilities. There used to be only one bus. I remember the bus number 19. That was the only bus. It used to come from Neelangarai up to Adyar. That was the only bus. A lot of days we have ran behind the bus to catch that bus. So in that bus, it was specially designed for our brothers and sisters who belong to the fishermen community. So a lot of them used to come with their huge baskets. So crowded bus always, and you know how it is, right? And in those days, and even in these days, many women are here, you're quite familiar. There used to be a lot of eve teasing. Some guys, not all, but some, just used to board the bus just to abuse the girls there, right? So I was probably in class 9 that time. So a lot of women were sitting, men were sitting, a lot of men and women were standing. In the middle of that, there was a school kid, little elder than me, probably in 11th or 12th or something like that. So some guy tried to kind of misbehave with that girl. We were all saying it, but we were too shocked, too small. We felt we were nobody to kind of stop something like that. And the entire bus was saying what was happening, but nobody said anything. Then there was this lady who was carrying that huge basket with a fishing net and all that. When you see her, one would know that she probably was never given an opportunity to study or come up or do big business, nothing like that. Definitely poor, very poor. She saw that. Then next second, she stood up and just abused that guy in typical Chennai Tamil, if you know what I mean, right? She was I mean, she never cared who that guy was. Is he going to be big? Is he going to be power and influential? What will happen to me after I tried to stop him from whatever? She never thought about any of those things. At that moment, on that point, she wanted to say something and she said that. Now, so many years have passed. My daughters have now finished school and college. So many years have passed. But when I remember that day, one thought keeps coming to my mind. I saw a leader in her. I don't know if she eventually became a leader, but I saw a leader in her. She was able to stand up. She was able to say what she wanted to say. And she was able to stop something that was not the best thing that was happening around. When everybody was quiet, here was a woman who was uneducated, who was poor, who has not been given any opportunities, but she had that courage to stand up. I saw a leader in her. So leadership in many cases is inherently born. But in many other cases, we have a huge opportunity to create leaders. And that's what I'm going to talk about. So it reminds me of my Pattimandram stage. Angada naduvar bell adipparu, ingiyum or bell adikranga. So let me be mindful about my time. So how do you create leaders? Or what are the things that you actually look for in leaders? I'm going to just take some reference from Tirukkural and say 2 or 3 things depending on how much time I have. So from this point, I may be switching on to Tamil. When I'm talking about Tirukkural, I think it naturally gels with that, so I hope you don't mind. The first quality of a leader that I learned from Tirukkural is, a leader is somebody who is willing to wait for the right opportunity. The right opportunity is the key word out here. So the Tirukkural goes like this. Kokkokka kumbum paruvattu matrodhan kuttokka seertha idathu. So it translates like this. Just wait like a stork or a crane. Just wait. When the right opportunity comes, just strike like how the stork does this. So let me spend a minute on this. A lot of us have seen cranes or storks, as you call it, kokku, standing near a pond, water stream, and it's waiting. Wait பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கும். யாரோ ஒருத்தன் போய் கொக்கிட்ட கேட்டா எதுக்கு வெயிட் பண்ற? பசிக்குது, ஃபிஷ் வேணும், வெயிட் பண்ற. நிறைய ஃபிஷ் போயிட்டே இருக்கேன், அதை சாப்பிட வேண்டியதானே, ஏன் வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கிற? I'm waiting for the right fish to come. The right fish is a big one, the meaty one, and that's what I'm waiting for. So this man tells the crane, அது வரப்போ வரட்டும், உனக்கு பசிக்குது இல்லை, முன் பசிக்கு கொஞ்சம் சின்ன சின்ன ஃபிஷ் சாப்பிடலாம் தானே, like all of us do, right? I'm sure a lot of you are hungry. We didn't have a tea break. So you would be thinking, oh, let me have munch a biscuit now, so whenever lunch comes, it comes. So that's what this guy tells the stork. Just eat the small fish, it's okay. When your big fish comes, there goes your opportunity. The fish says, no, I'm not going to do that. Because when I am eating a small fish and my fish comes, I'm not going to have enough time to spew this or spit this and then attack the big one. By then it's gone. So I will stay hungry, but let me wait for the big fish to come. That's exactly what Tirukkural says. Kokkokka kumbum paruvattu matrodhan kuttokka seertha idathu. A leader is somebody who is unwilling to compromise for something which is not her or his dream. Just wait, the opportunity will come. You will have to look for the right opportunity, but don't ever settle for something less than what you aspire, what you dream. This is the first lesson that I learned from Thiruvalluvar about leadership. Willingness to wait. The willingness to wait comes inherently with a trust in Almighty. That God will hear me, God will help me. I have to wait. The second quality of a leader that I have learned from Tirukkural is that, here goes the couplet. உள்ளவதெல்லாம் உயர் உள்ளது, மற்றது தள்ளினும் தள்ளாமை நீர்த்து. It means think big. I mean, what's the point of being an entrepreneur who's saying that my father had a business which probably, let's say, there was a turnover of, let's say, 1 crore, just hypothetically. Now the son or the daughter now says, I want to be the next gen entrepreneur. So what's your dream? I should make at least 2 crores. Give me a break. If your father is making 1 crore, if you don't do anything also, you'll make 2 crores. That's what inflation does to us. You will anyway make 2 crores unless and until you're making a big mistake. So what is your dream? Think big. If your father has done a business which is making 1 crore, if you don't dream for something like 100 crores, why are you even dreaming? It's not worth dreaming at all. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. We are not saying we have $400 billion today at Tamil Nadu. So in about 10 years, maybe we will be there at 1 trillion, give or take. No. No, if you're thinking, think big. That's what Valluvar said. Ulluvadellam uyar ullal matrathu tallinum tallamai neerthu. So the second line in this couplet is very important. So one would ask, ma'am, you're telling me to dream big, and I'm dreaming big. What if it doesn't happen? What if I fail? Valluvar says that it's okay. It's okay to fail having dreamt big rather than not dreaming big at all. That's what this really means. So I am reminded of, I'm mindful of the time, but let me try and expedite as much as possible. I am just thinking about how people sometimes wait for the big dream to kind of happen. And Providence, Almighty, Universe, whatever you call it, will give them that gift. Ratan Tata and his company, during 1998, I think, they wanted to sell off their car division. So they approached a European car company. They went all the way to Europe. It was Ford. So let me give the name, nothing wrong, because it's all over the media, right? So they went and approached Ford, asked Ford to take over their car division. Ford, at that point of time, that leadership did not treat them well at all. They were humiliated. They even asked Ratan Tata himself, what do you know about car business? Why did you even start this vehicle? So Ratan Tata decided to drop the idea and came back to India. So most of you are entrepreneurs, some of us are working professionals. All of us have seen humiliation, right? Is there even one among you who has never seen any humiliation? You may be rich, you may be wealthy, you may be poor, you may be whatever, right? You may be running big organizations. But there are occasions when all of us have been humiliated. So Ratan Tata gulped that humiliation, dropped the deal, came back to India. That was 1998, my dear friends. Come 2008, the time turned. It was Ratan Tata's time to purchase Jaguar and Land Rover from the Ford themselves. So he acquired those brands. What happened in between? 10 years happened in between. And in those 10 years, Tata division really went big in their efforts, in their dream, in building the capability. Finally, they acquired the Jaguar itself. And Ford this time came to Mumbai to sell their products to Ratan Tata, sir. So, whenever I think of this incident, I remember this Tirukural which says, think big, nothing wrong. If you're an entrepreneur who's starting, your only job is to think big. So I'm going to stop here to say that all of us are talking about building entrepreneurship. We are talking about building leadership skills. At this point, I want to say that my dream is to see UEF bringing as many women entrepreneurs as possible. Next year when you're doing this forum, or 2 years from now when you're doing this forum, kindly invite me, sir. I should be around, I think. I want to come here and say that, you can just give me 2 minutes, not 15 minutes, right? So in that forum, I want to talk about saying that 2 years back, I came here and I spoke about more and more women entrepreneurs coming through UEF. And today your data says that 50% of the entrepreneurial support that you have given is for women leaders. I want to make that statement on the stage. Maybe you will hold it somewhere else, but I'll come there and I want to make that statement. Why am I saying that? Not because I'm a feminist, because I'm not a feminist. I'm a humanist. I'm not a feminist. I am making the statement because unless you get women to partake in leadership activities, there is no dream that is going to be fulfilled without women actively taking part in it. And let me extend it further. When I say women leaders, it's not only women entrepreneurs because their husbands, their brothers and their fathers are entrepreneurs, but these are women entrepreneurs who are able to independently think and take leadership positions. So the third quality for a leader, very, very important, is that, let me give the Tirukural first and then give the context. Idambai kidambai paduppar, idambai padadavar. A very funny sounding couplet, right? The same word is used at least 5 times in this couplet. Idambai kidambai paduppar, idambai padadavar. It translates as follows. Misery or pain or whatever you call it, right? Misery or pain. It fails with some people. Why? Because they give misery to misery. They give pain to pain. Idambai paduppar. They give pain to pain. So when you are able to sustain, when you are able to take troubles and then see some positivity amidst that, then I think you are a leader, and that is the skill set that I really see missing in the Gen Z leaders of today. It's really missing. They're all good, they're super intelligent, they're intellectually far ahead of us, technologically they know much more than us, but the only thing which I think is probably lacking is that, because I visit a lot of colleges and meet these people, come the first failure, they will give up everything and go home crying, Mama, Papa, see what happened to me. That resilience, the ability to take adversaries in life, probably is something that we have to groom in our budding leaders. So let me give you an example. I hope I still have another 5 minutes. Yeah, okay, Naveed said. So Naveed is a good friend. We used to work together, and thank you for calling me here, Naveed. So let me give you an example. My first boss in my previous organization, when I joined almost like 28 years ago, he was my first boss. Can't forget him. Rajendra Sabarwal is his name. He was heading the NRI business for our bank. It was the most profitable business. The entire bank in India was thriving because of this one vertical. So he was like ruling. You know how organizations treat people who bring money, isn't it? So he was given all titles, everything. He was a king here. So when he did so well, the organization decided to transfer him to US. So 28 years ago, we were all very young, and for us, the biggest thing that can happen in life for somebody is to get a posting in US. Then, not now. So yesterday, I think Kamakodi sir made a statement here. Sir was saying that the brain drain is actually coming to an end thanks to Mr. Trump, right? So after the visas, positions are getting little circumspect, I think our people are planning to stay here, which is a good thing. But 28 years ago, that was not the case. We all thought that getting transferred in US is the thing that can happen to a person. So we were all very happy for him. He went there, he took the position. Later we heard that there were like 1,500 branches in US of our bank, and they were all rated in terms of their performance. He was made the branch manager of the branch that was the least performing branch. So we felt very sorry for him. So, types, right? So he was like the big guy here, and then there he has gone to head a branch that was the least performing. Nobody was below them. They were the least performing branch. So he came back after 3 months to take his family. We met him at a dinner. We all decided that we'll put up a very sorry kind of a face. We'll not smile because he's anyway not happy. Why should we be smiling? He was very happy. He was smiling and he was beaming. He was very happy. So we asked him, Sabi, that's how we used to call him. Sabi, how come you're happy? You've been made the head of the branch, which is the least performing branch. And he gave me an answer which I will never forget in my life. He said, I'm very happy. You know why? There is only one direction I can go from here. I can't go any worse. I can only improve from here. I can't get any worse. So that's what I call as positivity. You've been put in a place which is probably thought of by people as the worst. But there he saw a very positive point. He said, even if I improve a little, even if I create a little bit of delta, in my revenue or profit or customer base, everybody is going to appreciate me. Why? Because I am the least performing, worst performing branch. Then I thought of this Tirukural. Idumbaikku idumbai paduppar, idumbaikku idumbai padadavar. There are people who give pain to pain itself. So when we groom our leaders, the only thing we need to tell them is be resilient. So when I go to colleges these days, the professors, or when I go to schools, the teachers are too scared to tell anything to the students. Why? Because if we say anything, then they say that they are mentally disturbed. They are like, so I was thinking about our own school days when our teachers even used to slap us. It was allowed those times. And we never bothered about it. And in retrospect, I remember only those teachers who were very hard on us. Why? Because they are the ones who made us resilient. So when I come to organizations and we go through bad patches and we go through difficult days, we are not so bothered. Why? Because our physics and chemistry teachers have been much more hard on us than what our bosses do, right? So resilience is what is making a person a complete boss. The last one that I want to talk about is another Tirukural which says, Ooruni neer niraindatre, ulagavam perarivalan thiru. So he actually compares a pond of good water that is in the middle of a city or a town. Just think about a pond. Not polluted, it's good water and it's there in the middle of the town. So the entire town or the village or the city is going to be benefited by the water in the pond, isn't it? He compares this pond to a person who has created wealth. Ooruni neer niraindatre, ulagavam perarivalan thiru. So whenever I am thinking about Dr. B.S. Abdul Rahman, whenever I have visited UAE a few times, and I remember the ETA of those days, and people used to say that ETA was Yellan Tamil Alu at that point of time. That's how people were talking about it, right? So relevant. And of course, it was not only confined to them. It was multicultural, it was multinational, but there was the strong desire or a dream within him to help the people from the place where he has come up from. So that's how the Crescent Group actually started its educational endeavors. Today, I think it's like a banyan tree where thousands and thousands of students are there. Thousands and thousands of families are supported. More importantly, thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs are getting incubated so that one day they will have a stage like this to come and talk about their success stories. So, wealth creation is very important for any society. That's why we keep targets like this. Very important. An aimless, a goal-less journey is like traveling on, traveling without having a destination in mind, right? So this is like having a clear goal so that the path will form for itself. But why are you doing it? Of course, we want to be wealthy. We want to create a wealthy state. We want to prove to the others that we are ahead of you. More importantly, wealth creation is also to benefit those who are not able to catch this bus. Wealth creation is for those people like that Akka I met when I was in my 8th standard in bus number, route number 19, who had no opportunities, but who had all the skill sets of a leader. Just imagine, had she been given an opportunity, 20 years, I'm sure she'll be running $1 million organization or a company, just that there were no opportunities. So, Ooruni niraindatre, ulagavam perarivalan thiru is just about create wealth. That's your responsibility. But while you're doing it, you do it so that everybody around you is benefited. So helping people who are not able to come up on their own, who do not have that kind of a background, is the responsibility, and that is what I have seen in Dr. Abdul Rahman's service, and that's what I am seeing as a goal for UEF. So I can go endlessly because as I speak, I am just thinking of a lot of couplets which I want to share here, but I am mindful of other speakers and the time that I am taking. So my dear friends, I stand before you to tell you that leaders sometimes are born, but more often than not, leaders are created. How? They see some role models. They have somebody to emulate. They see the person that they want to emulate and they build the leadership qualities within them. So unless you have good leaders who are resilient, who are able to fight whenever adversaries happen, unless you have leaders who dream big, unless you have leaders who want to support society, we will just be standing wherever we are standing. And our entire travel will be running like running on a treadmill. You have run so much, but you have not reached anywhere, right? So we don't want to travel like that. We want a road that takes us there. Somebody has had the guts to dream like this. And we are very proud to be a part of that dream. In whatever way we all can contribute, we must. The most important way that we can contribute to this dream is to create leaders. And for creation of those leaders, all of us have lessons that we have to take to the next generation. So I think that's what was the assignment given to me. Leadership is a huge chapter. Obviously, I can't cover it in 15 minutes, but I just want to let you know that an ancient epic in Tamil, which was probably created about 2000 years ago, stands out to tell us. Let me ask you this question. Most of you have heard about Tirukkural. He talks about mountains. No mountain is named in Tirukkural. He talks about rivers. No river is named in Tirukkural. He talks about kings. Not even the name of one king is mentioned in Tirukkural. He might have talked about the mighty Cheras or Cholas or Pandyas or any other kings. Not a name of a king is mentioned. He talks about ministers. No minister's name is mentioned. He talks about cities. The name of no city is mentioned here. Why would somebody 2000 years back should have created something where he tried to hide his identity completely? Why would you want to do it? When we donate, some of us when we donate, we are very particular that please put my name in that tomb or wherever, right? We are very particular about it. This man who lived 2000 years ago, 2 millennia ago, has given such a gift to the entire humanity, but he was so careful about hiding his identity. Even the name Valluvar probably was not his name. It was given by somebody from the future generations. He never put his name as well. Why would somebody do like that? He has done like that because he wanted to create something which will reach everybody in humanity. He never wanted to identify himself with anything, a sect or a language or anything, because he wanted the wealth that he has created to go to everybody in humanity who would probably live 2 millennia later, 3 millennia later. So he is an inspiration himself. He is a leader himself, where we all should emulate his work to know that it is, like I started, I said, idana perumaya idu kadama. So we have to create, we have to sow the seeds. When that germinates and becomes a banyan tree, some of us may not be there, but the tree will be there. And the tree will remember the person who planted the seed. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. Please stay on stage. We will felicitate you now, so please stay there. Thank you. So yes, thank you for those amazing lessons from Tirukkural and how you've imbibed them. Have patience, dream big, build resilience, and be the change. And I absorbed all of them now, right? Thank you so much. All right, can I invite our president of UEF, Mr. Ahmed Buhari Saab, to please come on stage and facilitate our speakers. I invite Mr. M.V. Subramanian, sir, venture capitalist. Subramanian, sir, can I request you to please come on stage? The token of appreciation for Mr. M.V. Subramanian, venture capitalist, startup ecosystem builder, general partner, July Ventures. And I request our president, United Economic Forum, Mr. Ahmed Buhari, to please give away this token of appreciation. I request the dignitaries to stay on the dais. We have another special felicitation that we'd like to do in your presence. I request our convener of the UEF Trade Summit, Mohammed Ali Saab, to please come on stage. I also request Ms. Arjuman to please come on stage. Ma'am, can I have you on stage? Subramanian sir, please stay. We have another felicitation that we'd like to do in your presence. So, Ms. Bharathy Baskaran talked about women empowerment and how she would like to see women entrepreneurs and more women representation in UEF. UEF today would like to felicitate a young lady who's made us very, very proud from the community. As recently as the last week, she was at the World Championship of Weightlifting in Moscow, and she won 2 gold medals and 1 silver. And we have invited her here so we can felicitate her. Ma'am, Ms. Latifa, can I request you to please come on stage? A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. She's doing not only us, but our country proud. And all our brilliant lady members of the UEF Forum are also here on stage to felicitate this young achiever. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Not every day do we have gold medalists with us.
And Madam, she has been sponsored by one of the UEF member for this, this is a world championship she won in Moscow last week. 2 gold medals and 1 silver representing India. But unfortunately, Indian government could not support her. So she had to take sponsorship from others. One of the members of UEF has sponsored her. Yeah. That's SIS, my company. Thank you very much.
தமிழ்லே சொல்கிறேன் சார். என்னோட நேம் Latifa Sirajuddin. நான் யங் கேர்லாம் கிடையாது. என்னோட ஏஜ் 41. ஐ எம் மதர் ஆஃப் 2 கிட்ஸ். ஸோ எனக்கு 2 சிசேரியன் பண்ணி தான் நான் இப்போ ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். வெயிட் லிஃப்டிங் சாம்பியனாக வேர்ல்டு சாம்பியனாக இருக்கேன். ஸோ இது காரணம் சார், எனக்கு ரஷ்யா அனுப்புற ஃபுல்லாக சவுத் இந்தியா ஷெல்டர்ஸ், மிஸ்டர் முகமது அலி சார் அண்ட் மிஸ்டர் நவாஸ் ஹுசைன் சார். ஐ எம் கிரேட்ஃபுல் டு சவுத் இந்தியா ஷெல்டர்ஸ் அண்ட் பாலி ஹவுஸ் எனக்கு ஸ்பான்சர் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க எக்யூப்மெண்ட்ஸில். ஸோ ரியலி தேங்க்ஃபுல். அண்ட் யூஎஃப் இங்கே இந்த மெடல் தான் நான் ஃபஸ்ட் ஸ்ட்ராங் உமன் அவார்டு வாங்கினேன். ஸோ ஐம் வெரி ஹாப்பி டு கம் அகெயின் அண்ட் ரிசீவ் ஒன்ஸ் அகெயின் அவார்ட். தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச்.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
This is the community that we'd like to build. This is the talent that we'd like to foster and the inspiration that we'd like to create. I feel very, very proud today to be a member of the UEF and a member of this community. All right, moving on. We still have one more hubs catalyzing Tamil Nadu's growth. And it's my privilege to invite Dr. M. Parvez Alam, Executive Director and CEO, Crescent Innovation and Incubation Council and Atal Incubation Center, CIIC. As he takes the stage, let me quickly introduce him. Dr. M. Parvez Alam is the Executive Director and CEO of Crescent Innovation and Incubation Council and Atal Incubation Center, where he plays a pivotal role in building and scaling one of Tamil Nadu's leading startup incubation ecosystems. With over 17 years of experience across strategy, marketing, operations, program management, and innovation leadership, he has been instrumental in supporting more than 200 startups across sectors such as deep tech, life sciences, Industry 4.0, mobility, aerospace, and defense. An engineer by training, he holds a master's in management from Great Lakes Institute of Management and Stewart's School of Business, Chicago, and a doctorate in business administration from SP Jain School of Global Management. Dr. Alam is also a certified PMP, Agile practitioner, 6 Sigma black belt, and a registered technology transfer professional, and is actively engaged as an advisor, mentor, and ecosystem leader, driving innovation, entrepreneurship, and startup growth across India. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Dr. Parvez Alam.
Thank you. So, Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So, quite often I say that I am always like a backup batsman, 10th batsman in my team. I always put my team in the front and the back, but today I'm a backup speaker. Our Honorable Sivaraja sir, the Mission Director of Startup TN, he couldn't join at the last moment. He conveyed his best wishes for all of you and congratulated. So I'm just trying to pull out some points of what he would like to speak about Tamil Nadu's growth story. So how this university entrepreneurship catalyzing Tamil Nadu's growth is what everyone is now aspiring to think about it. So every university today considered as a research engine. So translation of academic innovation into commercial ventures. But if you see today's context, a majority of our academic institutions producing a lot of patents and publications which goes into the shelf and it's not converting into a commercial ventures. And incubation support is the next one. While our chairman and my boss who talked about how this research should convert into innovation and innovation into incubation and finally commercial ventures. So that is the next important milestone in the converting into university into a market pipeline. And the third one is the market entry, which is creating more deep tech startups. So we saw the Rapti case in the morning. And the last but not least is the how do we create this economic impact. I think that's what the whole UEF is all about, how to create more, that 4 trillion economy, right? So this is the flow of converting a university entrepreneurship hubs, how do we convert into an economic engine. Now this is just to give a very glimpse number of Tamil Nadu's startup ecosystem. So we have 12,000 startups in Tamil Nadu, out of which 50% are women-led startups. So we have to give a big hands to the state of Tamil Nadu. In fact, Honorable Minister TRB Raja on the day one also he talked about more women entrepreneurs are seen in this UEF summit. So 50% comes from women entrepreneurship, and our total ecosystem, the value of the entire startup is now 28 billion. So that leads to now the 4 trillion economy. And if you see, there are 228 startup incubation centers are now part of the Tamil Nadu ecosystem. So this is one of the very important slide. The University Grants Commission and AICT, they talks about, they wanted every university, higher educational institutions to act like an economic engine. So they mainly talk about 4 pillars, which is innovation, entrepreneurship, technology commercialization, and startups. So in the startups, they say they mainly wanted startups to come from student and faculty community. As favorite statement said by our UEF president, every university should act like a factory of entrepreneurs, right? I think that's what the university hubs should do. And this is an example of, I just wanted to kind out the case studies of what IIT Madras did and what CICB did. So if you see the IIT Madras story, 11,000 jobs created, 500 plus startup incubated, 100 plus new ventures in the last year, 53,000 crores. I think Dr. Mauluk Muhammad was part of the success journey. So on the deep tech leadership and the university industry translation, this is what IIT Madras has done this. And what we are trying to, like our chairman also spoke in the morning, we don't want to just copy and paste, rather we want to create our own story. If you see our story, I always say that, we are poor man's IIT. So we are trying to build a story on our own. So this is the story we built. So we have 520 crores fundraised, 3,000 crore valuation, 2,400 jobs, and 800 crore sales turnover, etc. But how do we do this, right? So this is the step-by-step process, like the Ministry of Education has created something called National Innovation Startup Policy, which says that every institution should have their own incubation centers and how the student and faculty startup should lead to the economic growth. I think this is what the policy has given the bigger framework, and then they have mandated all the institutions, higher educational institutions, to implement this policy. So we are one of the very pioneers in implementation of this policy. The proof of the pudding. Okay, so what institute finally get? Finally, institute gets revenue, and what else they want? They wanted a ranking and ratings, right? So with all these efforts we have talked about so far, our university ranking gone from 11 to 50 in the NARF innovation ranking, in the top 11 to 50, our top 10 are IITs. But one important thing I wanted to say, our university ranking in the top 200, our remains in the top 200, 150 to 200 in the NARF university ranking, whereas in the innovation ranking, we went up, almost we lifted our university from 11 to 50. So this shows that innovation and the startup ventures, whatever the university hubs are doing, it is not only contributing to their economic growth, but it also lifts the entire university ranking system to the top level. I think with these few words, I just wanted to thank all of you and then giving me this opportunity to share this idea. In the interest of time, I just took half of the time which allocated to me. Thank you so much.
Sir, your humility personified. The human work that you're doing, lifting the name of the university in a competition, in a country where universities are galore, through innovation is amazing, fantastic, and praiseworthy. A big round of applause for Dr. Perez Alam, please, and the work that he's doing.